Well, welcome to the metropolis of Norfolk. Actually, Norfolk is a it's not a metropolis really, and they do have a downtown. But what Norfolk's most known for is it's the largest naval base, one of the largest naval bases in the world. Uh, so a lot happening here. We're going to be flying down to Jacksonville, Florida, in a 737-800 with Allegiant Airlines. So we're going to go ahead and make sure Allegiant knows, well, that we're here. No, I tell you, well, let's hold off that. Okay. But we'll go ahead. We'll start cold and dark. By the way, it looks good. But the livery, whoever made the livery for the Allegiant for this one, I don't know who made this one, but it's probably one of my cleanest liveries. Well, I tell you what, Alpaca did a good job too. It's like flying for Alpaca Airlines. My airplane spits all the time. And anyway, we're going to see what cold and dark. First thing we do is flip the battery guard. And the next thing we do, this is the 730 Zibo 737-800. We set our IRSs to nav. Now here's something I do. I go ahead and do. Go ahead and start your APU now. It does not take. It doesn't take long to get to the point you're ready to push back once you do your checks. But I've just gotten to where the GPU having it connect is just it's not necessary, not as much so. Okay, now that our APU is firing up, we're going to hit our anti-collision lights and our steady strobe position lights. You want those on. It kind of lets people know, hey, somebody's in that plane. I'm going to go ahead and knock these fuel pump settings to the pumps to the on position. That'll take just a moment to get in the right position, and we're going to go ahead and go to our FMC flight management computer, and we are going to put right here the first position in its screen. You just see you got nothing there. You go to the next page, you pull one of the GPS left or right, and you go back to this page and you click it in there, and voila, you're going to get colors on your horizons. Alright. By the way, I sound like I know what I'm doing, but man, last night I had a rough flight coming into Norfolk. The IRSs either weren't aligned. I know it's going to be an event that I did, but I was like parallel to where I should have been. Everybody. Nothing was right. Nothing was right. So anyway, for this flight, I'm hoping that is fixed. We're gonna see. I'd never really figured out what exactly was wrong. Somebody out there, a good pilots, if you know what I did, but it just wasn't aligned correct. I thought had done everything by the book, and anyway, coming in for my landing, it was ugly. I ended up having to take control and manually bring it back in alignment, and I could still follow. The thing is, my VOR locator was right, so when I lined it up, it was perfectly aligned. But when I let go of it, the autopilot would send off into a tizzy, and I even had my course settings set just like they should have been. So, you know what? Live and learn. By the way, did I tell you I'm not a real pilot? So, just learning. I really do like Xplane. I'm a big Xplane fan, and today, even on this flight, you're going to see a lot to do with Traffic Global. I might give you my argument for why Traffic Global is good or bad. The goods and the bads, and what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Okay, and it's been out evidently for a while. It's a great mod. It's free. Oh no, wait, I did pay for it. I paid for the final version of it. Okay, right now what I'm doing is this is my APU. I've just activated my APU. I'm going to make sure that we need to make sure if the APU is on, that the APU bleed is on. And I'm going to go ahead and hit those hydraulic pumps down there. Now, we're going to go to fuel and weight balance here. Now watch what I do, because this is how you get your ground crew working. You notice here if we go to airside services, it's still like, whoa, nothing's here. You know, then look, you got page 1 of 2, go to page 2. It says load OFP. Okay, so we're going to load that. 142 passengers, cargo, our ZFW weight's 136,596 pounds, fuel is 19,378, and we're going to activate that, and that's when everything starts happening for us. This, by the way, this airport, the Norfolk Airport, it's nice. It's quaint. It's not huge, but planes look. Everything looks good. You know, the scenery here, I like it. Looks good. I do not have this set on real time, so if you notice, they're gonna hop in there and get their job done and kind of get in and get out. So they're not gonna linger. And there's a second part to this you need to pay attention to. So the refueling's happening, but if you notice here, my passenger setting is still at 0. It's going to get my passengers loaded, I have to go over here to my no smoking, and I have to put it to on, and then I put it to auto. I'm going to get seatbelts dropped there. Okay. Cabin crew, how are we doing, ladies?
We're doing well, Captain. All preparations are in order for the flight. Thank you for asking.
And we also have a co-pilot, and that's through Say Intentions. So I'm not, the focus isn't Say Intentions as much so on this flight, but Say Intentions is on about every one of my flights to give me a co-pilot, and cabin crew. If I'm doing a Delta virtual flight, I don't use it because Delta's got, on the cabin crew side, they have some amazing, everything about their app is awesome, and so it interfaces well with all the planes. All right, we're going to go ahead and knock up the throttle arm. Flight directors are on, and we want to put a little bit more light on the cockpit area here, like about here, see, like that. You don't need a lot because it's pretty bright outside, but I'm bringing that up a little bit. Here the passengers loading. That's good. Blah, blah, blah. Now on our flight plan, we're going to look at our legs of our flight plan. If you already noticed,
fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Thank you, buddy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our A car is loaded for our Allegiant Airlines.
Boarding is now complete. Flight attendants prepare the cabins. Verify arm door standby for all call.
All right, we got that. Allegiant Airlines is with us. Okay, so back to the FMC. So you see here, we have a discontinuity at the very top of our FMC. Okay, let's see if I simply do this. I don't think this makes it go away, but it says we're going out on runway 05. It's the active runway. Let me see. If I do that, does that knock off anything here? No, it doesn't. It doesn't make anything better. Honestly, it doesn't make anything better at all. Okay, so. So right there, it says, what are we going out on? So our departure. Runway 05. Let's see. Let me put that in there. Kiss her. Kiss her. Kiss her. I don't know what that means.
Okay. It's trying to give us a turn, a vector turn. So we're going to move. Let's see here. Okay. So we're going to put coupon out here in the area where the discontinuity is. I think that's the best thing to do. Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do with that. That's the discontinuity. So it wants to vector us to make our turn, our left turn. So I'm going to leave that just like it is, like that there. And be prepared for that. And so we're going to go out on it says here heading of 47047. So we're going to change the heading here to 047. At this point, the course headings don't matter. Okay, they're not important at the moment, so we'll be fine there. All right. Okay, so next thing we've got we're 100% loaded. Our passengers are loaded. Our cargo's loaded, and fuel is at 99%. I haven't used that much fuel already, have I? Well, in any case, I won't dawdle much longer. Okay. Okay. That was not smart. I gotta change that anyway in a minute. Okay. Alright, so let's see. Init ref. The one thing we want to know is what is our fuel reserves. Our fuel reserves are 2,558 to be exact, but we have to put in 2.5 in our reserves, and then we'll load our performance numbers. A ZFW is 136.6, 136,000, making our gross weight 156,000. We're going to execute that, and we're going to go to our takeoff area where our flaps. I'm going to pull up our numbers to compare them to see. I'm going to say we're going to go out on flaps 15. But I'd like to look at my numbers. Okay, so actually, let's see what they say. They say flaps 5. So I'm going to put flaps 5 here. That's what we're going out on. And these numbers, I think, should be okay. So 142, 143, 152 are our V1s, 142, rotate, 143, and V2 is 152. Our center of gravity on this flight we get from over here is our takeoff weight. Center of gravity is 26.7. So we're going to put in here 26.7. Hopefully y'all are keeping up. I know we're going to run through this, and that gives me a trim of 4.75. So we're gonna move this trim a little bit. About right there. Okay, so we're set. Trim set for takeoff. We've got our numbers loaded. You notice, by the way, when the numbers are loaded, when you see no V speeds here, it's because this section here has not been addressed. That's where that comes from. All right. Right. So I've got takeoff reference for our runway winds, and our runway winds are actually 009 at 5. So I'm going to put in here 09 at 5. OAT is 31. We'll see if I'm going to use this cutback. We're really not on a cutback for our climb. Everything looks good there, I think. So we're going to go back to the next page, and you notice it reset our numbers there. We got to put those back in. That's all right. So So 142, 143, 152. Nothing's changed there. Okay, we're good. Trim is set. Flaps 5, and we will set the flaps the minute our engines are live. We'll set that. Okay. Right. Brian, good morning. Well, it's kind of almost afternoon now, but go ahead and get our IFR clearance.
Good morning, Steve. I'll get our IFR clearance now.
Norfolk clearance, Allegiant 619, requesting our IFR clearance.
Allegiant 619, cleared to Jacksonville. Radar vectors coupon, then is filed. Climb and maintain 3000. Expect flight level 34010 minutes after departure. Departure on 125.2 squawk 1657. Expect runway 5.
Only supposed to read it back. You gonna read it back to him? And 1657, we're squawking. I'm gonna go ahead and I just activated TCAS when I turned that dial right there. So TCAS, when I put it to transmit receive, we're now transmitting on TCAS. Technically, I guess you're not supposed to do that yet until you get toward the runway. Also, we're going to put our anti-skid here on RTO for reject takeoff. That way it's set if we need it. And the goal is not to need that. I'm going to go ahead and click. VNAV will let you click. It won't let you click on that yet. But we will once we come up and we're ready. We're off the ground. Right. On Say Intentions, by the way, if I ever miss something Say Intentions said, I can go back here and I've got notes. So it says here that we're radar vectors to coupon, and then as file, we're going to climb and maintain 3000. And then expect flight level 34010 minutes, so 10 minutes after departure, and we're squawking already correctly. We're expecting runway 5. That is correct. Okay, we're on runway 5 for takeoff.
Give me 1 second for that clearance.
Clear to Philadelphia radar vector skull, then as file, climb, maintain 3000, expect flight level 27.
One setting I didn't put in that I should have moments ago is I did not put in my speed, my V speed for takeoff.
North for clearance, Delta 2949 with you, requesting clearance to Richmond.
V speed, I want to put I'm going to put 152 in here. I always put the V2 speed in there, and I think everybody does that. I don't think that's just me. I wouldn't want you to do it just because I did it. Oh, trust me. Okay. All right, I think we're set. Brian, as my co-pilot and pilot monitoring, you're in charge of all comms.
Understood, Steve. I'll handle all the comms from here.
And please go ahead and get our pushback and start clearance. It is amazing what Brian can understand.
I'll get our pushback and start clearance now.
If you notice, his responses aren't really
automated per se or whatever. He really the inflections, everything really good.
19 requesting clearance for pushback and engine start.
Good coffee.
Allegiant 619, pushback and engine start approved, tail northeast.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
some nice shots from the passenger area, passenger cabin. Nice shot there of Delta. There's a nice shot of a wing and a tower. Fairly clean livery, very clean jet. You notice the break-in point there. There is the first class, or as they say, business class section. And we're going to sneak up there here.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Seats are a little bit nicer. I mean, not a lot nicer, but a little bit. You see how that changes. Okay. Flight deck door is already closed. The minute that we're loaded, the passengers are loaded, that door closes. It closes by, I mean, the flight attendant closes the door. Right, we're good there. Take off.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Hydraulic pumps are active. Yes.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Right, to start engines, we're going to go to the, first of all, look at where these are set. Pay close attention, okay? Packs are off. Bleed is on, and everything is set right now for us to have enough pressure. See where the pressure needle is to start the aircraft. So we're going to put it to GRD. You notice the needle, we're waiting for a 25. We'll wait for 25 to come up, roughly around 25. Doesn't have to be exact. But if you let that thing sit too long without giving it fuel, you will have a hot start, and it's not pleasant. There's 24, there's 25. Fuel valve up. I'm opening up the fuel center pumps.
Cabin crew, doors in flight and cruise check. Welcome everyone on board
All right.
on behalf of Allegiant Air.
Engine 1.
We are pleased to have you with us today on Allegiant Air Flight 619 departing from Norfolk to Jacksonville.
Watching for
Our
25-ish.
captain for this flight is Steve Good, and our first officer is Brian Song. Joining me in the cabin today are my fellow crew members, Emily, Jason, and Sarah. Now, for your safety,
Fuel.
please ensure your seatbelt is fastened low and tight across your lap. To unfasten, simply lift the buckle.
Taxi lights
In the
on.
unlikely event of a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop down from the panel above you. Pull the mask towards you, place it over your nose and mouth, and secure it with the elastic band. Remember to secure your own mask before assisting others. We also have life vests located under your
Or if you notice,
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Slip it over your head and pull the straps to tighten.
parking brake is set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, row 1, yaw damper
In the event of an evacuation,
on.
please leave your
You
luggage
want that yaw damper on. Let me tell you, there's nothing worse than how it feels without it. Okay, we're going to initialize the buses on each engine. That means it's getting its power from the engine buses. And we're going to cut off the APU. Okay, next row. There's really not much to do here. So we've got both your no smoking and seat belts on. We're going to set engines, by the way. No, we're going to hold off on that. Engines will be set to continuous for takeoff. So window heat, we're going to put that on. We're going to put the probes on.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
Thank you, buddy. Here we're going to put the packs on auto, and I'm moving the isolation valve to auto. I'm going to turn off the bleed, and I'm going to move the flight altitude for cabin pressure to 34,000. Right? Wheel light on, wing light on, and position strobe to strobe. Engine starts, or the engines to continuous.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Runway lights on, landing lights on. And the last thing we are going to do here, and sometimes I wait on this just because things can change. They don't always, but they can. And that's I need to put in my QNH, which is 3006. There. So cabin pressure is synchronized when it's right here. And by the way, I noticed something that we do not want our frequencies for ILS on, so I have turned those off. We don't need that now. Okay. Did you notice that watch this. So see how that screen looks right now? If I switch it over to the frequency for the runway, watch what happens. See that? You don't want that. So always set your nav, or your frequency, your ILS frequency, nav frequency to something else. Even if you have to put some bogus number in there, you do not want it, because I've had it mess with takeoff before. Just something, it makes something just not right. It's one more thing you have to worry with, and you have enough overload on takeoff. So pay close attention to that. Don't leave that on there. It'll mess you up. Okay. Right, we're going to runway 5, by the way, and runway 5, by the way, where we're going to be taxiing is this way. So we're already pointed in the right direction. Thank you, our tow guy. Wonderful guy, love him. Let's give a little passenger fist bump. And we're going to set our flaps to 5. That's three taps, by the way, on this aircraft. 1, 2, 3. Ever so subtle, but it's kind of, see how they're coming down? Okay, so flaps are set correctly. There's nothing left for us to do for our taxi clearance. So, Brian, can you go ahead and get our taxi clearance to runway 05?
I'll get our taxi clearance to runway 05.
Norfolk ground, Catbird 104. At gate 11, requesting pushback and startup.
Norfolk ground, Allegiant 619, ready to taxi to runway 05. We have Lima. Allegiant 619, taxi to runway 5 via Charlie, cross runway 32, then Alpha.
One thing we have not.
5 via Charlie, cross runway 32, then Alpha. Allegiant 619.
One thing we have not done yet, and that's slight on me, is you see where it says ATIS 12715.
Formation X-ray. Norfolk International Airport. Information X-ray. 1151 Zulu. Wind 350 at 5. Visibility 10. Sky conditions clear. Temperature 29. Dew point 24. Altimeter 3004. Density altitude 1500 feet. Arriving and departing runways 532. Advise on initial contact you have information X-ray. Norfolk International Airport. Information.
Okay. By the way, he's going awfully fast. Oh, is that because he's on a runway? Is that a runway? Allegiant 619, are we cleared to cross runway 32? Brian, would you please get clearance to cross runway 32?
I'll request clearance to cross runway 32.
Norfolk ground Allegiant 619, requesting permission to cross runway 32.
Norfolk ground walker 41 Norfolk ground walker 41 taxi departure.
Walker 110, taxi departing at your discretion. Have a good day.
That's a much shorter runway. It looked like it was, did it? In any case, I think we're clear. Check it out. Let's get outside the aircraft. I think that was an Embraer. It looks smaller. Looks smaller. Some of the bridges or the aqueducts or whatever you want to look at, I see that surround me here, are really old. I mean, they're like Civil War old. They're that old. Okay. Right. The last thing we do on our checklist, or that I had, is we're activating our chronometers for our time in. RTO is set, flaps are set to 5, and we're ready for our takeoff clearance. Brian, we're ready for takeoff clearance.
I'll request takeoff clearance now.
Norfolk Tower, Allegiant 619, holding short of runway 05, ready to depart.
Allegiant 619, Norfolk Tower, runway 5, winds 350 at 5, fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 5, runway heading, cleared for takeoff. Allegiant 619.
Fly runway heading, clear for takeoff. Toga is hit. Forward pressure on yoke. A lot of have to really press down on the right pedal a little bit more.
80 knots.
Balance that out.
V1 rotate.
Rotating.
Positive rate.
Gear up. I'm flying runway heading right now. LNAV is ready.
1000.
Gear is off. RTO is off. We're at 1000.
Allegiant 619, contact departure on 125.2.
Switching to departure on 125.2, Allegiant 619.
1000 to go.
Norfolk departure, Allegiant 619 afternoon, climbing past 1500.
Allegiant 619, Norfolk departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 300, turn left heading 230, vectors to Coupon, then own navigation.
Climb and maintain flight level 300. Left heading 230, vectors to Coupon, then own navigation. Allegiant 619.
Flaps are retracted. Altitude is set to 300. Level change to increase our altitude is initiated. Okay. Just a good shot of the airport there. This is really smooth. This is been kind of a smoother flight. The winds are really like nice today. The winds are just nice and smooth. All right, let's look at our checklist. Climb. Landing lights. We're not there yet. Not quite yet there yet, but we're close. We're at 9,000. Our landing lights are about to come off. Our altimeter is set. And we'll cross-check the altimeter before we get to top of descent. We're at 9,600, 9,700, 98, 99. Switches up. Engines to, that engine setting not to continuous but just normal.
Dear guests, we are now at a safe altitude, and you are welcome to
Modifier for arrival. That's our next step.
Please ensure that they are set to airplane mode. Additionally, our onboard Wi-Fi service is now available for your convenience. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the flight.
So our arrival is supposed to be runway 08. So we're going to look for 08 here. ILS Z. I'll double check that. I have ILS Y08 and Z08. I'm thinking we're Y. ILS Y08. Arrival is Lunny, the Lunny arrival. Ascent is our transition. It has a vector in there. I don't think I need to mess with that right now. And now we'll go. So we're supposed to be for our arrival at 077. So we're going to set our course directors to 077.
Allegiant 619, climb and maintain flight level 310.
Climb and maintain flight level 310. Allegiant 619.
Zero 077. Okay. And our current heading. Let's get the heading bug in the right place. That's our current one. We'll just leave it there for now. Okay. Current heading is 258. Okay. A little concerned right now because on our are we off on our I'm just watching the Navigraph, and we seem to be a matter of degrees parallel to our course heading. So we're going to see if that evens out. Like right now we're well, I'll know when we get the coupon, if it's correct or not. Okay, so now back to this 110.70 at 077. So that's one there. Now our 110.70, we're going to change this to 110. 110.70. Okay, so the ILS frequencies are in the system, and so that's set. We're quite a distance from our arrival, so we don't have to set this yet, but I can. It doesn't hurt. I'm going to go ahead and have anti-skid set to 2. I think that's plenty. I'm getting a fuel indicator there. That means that I've emptied out the center tank.
Flight level 340.
Climbing and maintaining flight level 340. Allegiant 619.
340. And we're 10 minutes in flight. That's it. Beautiful. Man, looks good. So we've got to get, you notice our interaction on Traffic Global with the other flights around us. Now, some other settings for Traffic Global, if I go here to Traffic Global and I go to the radar, it'll give us an idea what's out here.
Contact Washington Center on 128.525.
I see a general aviation flight, general aviation.
128.525, Allegiant 619.
There's a JetBlue flight. If you want to see these flights, by the way, these general aviations, like for instance, if I want to see it, I click on the box.
Center, Allegiant 619, afternoon, climbing through flight level 210 for flight level 340.
Allegiant 619, Washington Center, good afternoon.
Kind of a plain looking, but that's a dual engine. Let me see if I can find another flight. Here's a Delta flight. So I like that feature on here, so I can go and I can track that flight, or if I can go back to my flight. Now there's something else on Traffic Global. I can put more labels on those aircraft. So for Traffic Global, I can go label configuration. Right now I've got, I don't have like that for the airborne airline, aircraft, airborne, tail number, flight number, aircraft group, parking. Okay, so I can put airline. There we go. If I want that. So I can put it that way if you want to put, sometimes I take the labels off just for realism, but when you have the labels on, if you notice now I can see, I can get a little more information on the aircraft. It just tells me the airline that they're with, or if it's a general aviation flight, you can see it. See. One thing I want to change on the Traffic Global, on the labels, the aircraft group really doesn't help me. How about some tail numbers? Tail numbers? That's one thing I could put on there. That really doesn't tell me what I want to know. Airline code. Just airline. So I've got airline. Well, let's say flight phase, so it lets me know that's approach. That's kind of cool. So it says the airline and what it's doing. Leave that on there. And I have a lot of other settings. You notice I have it, I'm trying to think if I really have it throttled up for like how many planes. Let's see. So for settings, for 9, traffic density, I have it pretty high. And yeah, I do have it kind of high. By the way, our flight, our waypoints did line up, so nothing was wrong. I was just being paranoid. This thing about collide with user, I don't know what that means. I really don't. You know what? I'm going to click on it. I don't know if that means I can, that it causes me to be able to collide. Haven't really tested it. Guess we could test it at some point. I'm not saying I want to do it right now, but we could test that eventually. So anyway, I've got the densities up kind of high. The only thing that aggravates me, okay, the one thing I don't completely understand yet is I get to an airport and I don't have a reserved spot, or it doesn't line up with my flight. That part there I haven't figured out how to overcome. I will eventually, but I haven't figured it out. Never steal parking. User TCAS. Yes. Traffic Global blocked by Xpilot. Alright, we'll leave that off. I like my volumes, I like everything else, so everything else is fine. So the parking thing I haven't completely figured out yet. Got to figure that one out. I'd like to know what I'm missing on that. At the present, by the way, we're about to have a turn that comes up, 45-degree turn to go further south, and we're kind of riding a little close to the coast, but we're not right on the coast. You'll notice you see a lot of ground under us, but how my passengers do it. let's see if there's anything I've missed. Looking over all of our numbers here. There is one thing. I'm at 33,000 feet, and I still haven't changed over my to standard, and that was not good. Hold on. See how that's hurt my. Does that hurt me here on my flight log? I could have got dinged for that, maybe. I don't see where it logged that part though. I was looking for where if it logged my cabin pressure, aircraft climbing, aircraft. No, maybe not. Okay. Okay. We've reached cruising altitude. Seatbelt sign is off. Ground service is cabin lighting. We set to cruise and medium.
After our service, we'll also be offering articles from the Allegiant Airshop for your convenience. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the flight.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck. We've reached our cruising altitude. Looks like we are anticipating on-time arrival. You're going to head and turn off the seatbelt at this time. Just remember, if you are in your seats, keep your seatbelts fastened in case we do experience any unexpected turbulence. Enjoy the flight, and if there's anything we can do to make your ride, so let the crew know.
Look at some of the flights that are out here right now. We got air transit. I've got Southwest flights. 3 south. Well, Southwest is heavy out here. All of those actually will show up on my radar here. So on this map, this is the internal map. Hit the M button. You notice here where it has XPilot, Traffic Global. XPilot. I wonder if I take XPilot off here, if it will let my TCAS work. I don't know. So anyway, Traffic Global, traffic. But anyway, all my Traffic Global flights are even showing up on this map, so I see all these flights here. But if I want to, I can't click on those flights. See, like that. I click on me, but I can't click on those. Our ground speed, by the way, is 449 knots, so we're about 520 miles per hour. That's fast. It's faster than my mother-in-law leaving my house. Anyway, let's see. Something that when I first got Xplane, I was in a lot is the AV tab, and I was looking at the charts, like these charts, and you can actually, like in your resources here, you can actually have these charts in here, and I think I even think that I go up one directory. Let me find. Gotta go again. Better pushback. I think I'm looking for output. FMS plans. So I can, some of these, I think, I'm trying to think if I can find my flight in here. Let me try it. So is that in? Look for K. We're looking for KORF. See if we have a copy of it. KORF. KOO. Most everything's K, so that's why it takes a while to get to it. KORD, KORF. There it is. Yeah, it's there. Okay. That is neat because I can pull up like general chart information. Like I know what my fuel planning is. Even see that's our Cost index 25. This is a 37-page document. Let's see. Well, let me look at it this way. Yeah, easier. Well, it's nice to have. I mean, it is. It's nice to have there. If you need it, you got it. You can pull up the airport. Like if I want to pull up KJAX, no, I'm not sure how much this helps me out depending on how it's formatted or how I see it. That's general information about KJAX. But let's see, on the bottom of this, it should have the weather and see that it's 3014 for our altimeter. So technically, we can go ahead and put in that 3014. Okay. Also, what does it have a chart? Look. Airport. Well, really, what I'm looking for is this: is there useful information? Once we've arrived, is there anything I can use? Let's go back to airport. Construction temp. Airport parking spots and coordinate. Takeoff minimums. How about takeoff minimums? That's interesting. Obstacles, notes of obstacles, takeoff obstacles, minimums. Okay, parking spots. So we're coming in on a 10,000 foot runway. That's good. The sections are they broke down? I think that's a good one to keep out. There's regular parking spots, but for us, the letters and everything, that's awesome. Okay, we'll leave that up. Might come in handy later. Are y'all serving any food today? And what's my choices?
Yes, Captain. We will be serving a selection of snacks, including pretzel bites and a variety of beverages. Would you like me to make an announcement to the passengers?
Yes, go ahead and announce to them.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your flight attendant, Erica speaking. We will be serving snacks and beverages shortly. Today's options include our popular pretzel bites, along with a variety of drinks. After our snack service, we will also be offering articles from the Allegiant Air Shop for your convenience. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the flight.
And it is that time for us to go see if I can pull down our descent info. So we know that 3014 is the airport. So we also can go to forecast. So we're going to put in 30.14 for our QNH for the air. And then we're going to request and load some numbers. Let's see if yeah, I got them. So the descent winds are loaded, and we are 216 nautical miles from the top of descent. It's not too far. Something to keep handy, by the way, the M button when you hit M is if you just want to get a quick look at how close planes are, like that one there. Ooh. I mean, we're kind of in a similar flight path there. I need altitude. That's what I need. think when I look at the plugins over here in Traffic Global and label configuration, I want to know altitude. So when I see one out there, like, oh, I know altitude. You know, it'd be nice to know the distance to me. How about that? So label configuration. There's more. Well, you know, I had cut all this back, but like, camera distance, speed, flight phase. Let's say camera distance. See how helpful that is. That is very helpful, because now I can look at at least have a rough idea of where they are to me compared to me. And if it gets to be annoying again, I just take it away, make it go away. Yoke, by the way, is Y. Just Y takes it away. We're set right here for descent. And one setting that we need is we need to know Jacksonville elevation, which is probably about nothing. And it's not. It's 30 feet. And we do this in increments of 50. So I would say I'm going to put it on 50. One thing I'm going to change on the labels, like I said, this is on Traffic Global. I'm going to, yeah, I really don't need a flight phase at this point. I'm going to leave that off. I would need, I think altitude and camera distance is all I want. Okay, so I need to put altitude. And camera distance. Those are practical. So practical has a rough idea where everything is. See. I may have put camera distance in there twice. So let's go back to Traffic Global, label configuration. I did. You go to none. Now I have it. Okay. Manageable. Alright, so on the descent, we're coming in on runway 08.
Allegiant 619, contact Washington Center on 135.3.
Switching to Washington Center on 135.3. Washington Center, Allegiant 619, afternoon, maintaining flight level 340.
Allegiant 619, Washington Center, good afternoon.
Let's see, 08 means there will be a transition when we come down. So ILSY, I'll get that info. Yeah, there will be from Lonnie. Wait, will there will be. Okay. It's from Lonnie to Libby, in so many words. We've got a transition, and I think I've factored that in already. That wasn't smart. I didn't knock off cruise, did I? No. I knocked off VNAV. Oops. I think I shouldn't have messed up real bad. Okay, so I actually hit my yoke. So when I get to Lunny, is that Lunny there? Is when there'll be a transition that comes up. There's a vector there that then shows Libby. So I need to pay attention. When I get to Lunny, as I come toward Lunny, he's gonna try to vector me. He might vector me before I get to Lunny, and if he does, that's fine. I don't care. I've flown the 737-800 to try to catch up on some flights for Allegiant. I don't switch back and forth between aircraft models, and the reason I don't do that is because you're prone to a lot of failures, a lot of oops.
Expect the Lunny 2 arrival. In about 20 minutes, I'll start your descent. Just say the word if you'd like to start down earlier.
Nah, I don't need to.
Expect the Lunny 2 arrival, Allegiant 619.
Check my bug. The heading bug, by the way, it's good to have it lined up with the direction you're going, just in case. Just saying, anything can happen. But if cruise kicks off, whatever the cases are, you put it back on. It's just nice not to have to, or if you put cruise, if you go to a cruise without LNAV and your bug is some crazy direction, it's going to go that direction wherever your bug is. So you really want to make sure it's in the right place. Okay, we've got Delta, Southwest Airlines out there. We've got quite a few. Up. Let me know if there's anything I need to know, and we're just praying that he has a good trip down to Atlanta. One thing that shows me God at work is there is no other woman on the planet that is better suited for Lonnie than you. Not much is happening over the next 15-20 minutes, but we do have descent coming. Woo woo! And things will get busy again. This is, I think, the time, like the distance of between 400 and 500 miles is like the perfect, like, regular flight distance. It's like, it's interesting enough. You get up to cruise altitude, and it's, before you know it, you're having to come back down, but it doesn't leave as much lag time. Cruise time doesn't last that long. That makes sense. Okay.
Allegiant 619, contact Jacksonville Center on 135.05.
Switch to Jacksonville Center on 135. Jacksonville Center, Allegiant 619. Good afternoon, maintaining flight level 340.
619 Jacksonville Center, good afternoon.
I'm going to try to stick to the script on the descent. Sometimes I descend a little early, especially in a place like Florida, where my elevations are not as crucial. Like when you're out in the mountainous areas, North Carolina, Arizona, there are areas out there where, boy, you better not come down, or Nevada, you don't want to come down too early, because you'll end up in a mountain. I have actually even been taking a flight from Nevada to Washington or somewhere before, and it's pitch black at night. It's a nighttime flight. You can't see jack squat. You can't see anything. And I remember it was a VATSIM flight. This is not a VATSIM flight with say Intentions. I'm coming down, and I've just finally gotten to where I feel comfortable, but I'm not, descending is still nerve-wracking, and I'm not sure exactly when to descend. There's a long story behind that, but when you don't come from a pilot's life to do this, there's a big learning curve, and I really appreciate all the ones out there on VATSIM and some of the Facebook. There's a Facebook page for the Xplaners, and they seem to let you ask stupid questions, but it took a while to get to where I was comfortable with how to descend, the right way to descend. And so what you end up doing a lot is you end up descending too soon. You end up at 3,000, 2,000 feet above the ground, and you got 45 or 50 or 100 miles to go to get to the airport. So it's just, you just learn. It's live and learn. But over time, you begin to learn how to use the top of climb, cruise, and you understand what top of descent is for, and it helps you to come down. And if you have on the Airbus, the Boeings, typically they really do. If you'll follow their descent profile, like the way they descend from top of descent, they'll get you to where you need to go. And you have to monitor sometimes the speed, and you have to use a little bit of, but you may have to use a little bit of flaps, because to kill off some of the extra velocity. But it works. So anyway, on the FMC for this, we're going to go back to top of descent, and we're looking here we're at 105 nautical miles from top of descent. And by the way, this spot here is if you want to you want to monitor a certain benchmark or place. Like if I put in the waypoint and the altitude of a particular waypoint, then say I want you to monitor this, and it will count it down for you. I typically don't do that, and as you start descending, it will actually put the next descent waypoint on there. Anyway, we're currently here at 100 nautical miles from top of descent before we ever get to the top of our descent. And let me see what that means. So 100 nautical miles from top of descent will put us at about 116 nautical miles from the airport. That'll give us 116 nautical miles to get down for landing. So we're going to follow it. And also, now we're going to look at our what we need to put in our altitude setting. So I see here, wow, Libby is at 2,000 at or above. Libby, and so why don't we put in Lunny at 10,000 right here? And they'll step descend us, and if we need to change this, we will. But I'm going to put it at 10,000 for Lunny, and Lunny is where we transition to Libby, which is our final. Not quite our final. Yeah, it is. It's our final approach. So from Lunny to Libby, and there's a distance between those two waypoints where we're going to be vectored. So we'll put in for Lunny at 10,000. And then we'll be descending from 10,000 to 2,000 as we're going to Libby. That makes any sort of sense. I'm hoping something just kind of sits in there for you. Okay. With that in mind, we are 87 nautical miles from our top of descent. So we'll kind of hang there. Okay. VNAV and LNAV are kind of guiding us along. If you're not a Navigraph user or like a SimBrief, I love it. I use it all the time, and I understand $10 a month is $10 a month, and if it's too much, you got other resources. I just happen to like SimBrief, and in the Navigraph tool, they work really well together for me. And it makes for good, easier navigation. But all right, next steps in our process is we're going to go to seatbelt sign, and we're going to bring that seatbelt sign to on because we're getting close. We're getting kind of close. Okay. Tell me your name.
My name is Erica, Captain.
Hey, Erica. Seatbelt sign is on.
Okay, Captain, I will inform the passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign is now on. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt. Thank you for your cooperation.
All right, descent window is coming. Um, so the question I think I posed was the worthiness of traffic global. I'd say yes. I'd say it's it okay, so the scenario is a lot of times I can't just sit for 3 hours and fly without having to get up and having to do things, that kind of thing. And things like Traffic Global, the AI traffic and ATC give you some flexibility because it's AI as opposed to human, although it really acts almost human. So it's a lot easier. Plus, if you just need to get a flight going up and going, it's a lot quicker and a lot easier to set up Traffic Global. And I will say this, the installation process of Traffic Global took me minutes, and it's one central file that loads. It loads all the AI planes. It takes care of everything, and you're done. And I compare that to World Traffic, and World Traffic has a few more extra steps that it makes you take. But once again, this is about preference. If you like World Traffic, not trying to make you go to Traffic Global, I'm just saying, from having used both of them for extensive periods of time, I think I prefer Traffic Global. Also, the AI intelligence, the way the AI works on Traffic Global, it stops for you. It respects your space on the tarmac, and the taxiways. There's a lot of things that it does that I prefer. I really do prefer. Right. 44 nautical miles from top of descent. We could just start descending now if we wanted to. I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay. Brian, go ahead and get our clearance to descend on our arrival.
I'll request our descent clearance for the Lunny 2 arrival now.
Jacksonville Center, Allegiant 619, requesting clearance to descend for the Lunny 2 arrival into Jacksonville.
Allegiant 619, descend via Lunny 2 into Jacksonville.
Descend via Lunny 2 into Jacksonville. Allegiant 619.
Alright, I've put my altitude on 10,000. I have descend now. That means that when I hit this descend now, it will go. So I'm going to hit descend now. And watch the magic right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now left and have started our approach to Jacksonville. At this time, we kindly ask that you return to your seats, stow your tables, and fasten your seatbelts. Please note that the use of lavatories is no longer permitted. Thank you for your cooperation.
And we're 146 nautical miles from Jacksonville. Trying to think exactly where we are now. Are we? We're not even to Savannah yet. Will we be more toward Charleston right now? Maybe? Maybe. Yeah. So when I hit that descend, you'll notice on here, this is our path of descent. It looks like we have VNAV is going to stop us maybe at 240,240 for a restriction, and VNAV takes care of that. We don't have to worry with it. But you notice the vertical deviation, it's going to continue to grow, and then as we hit these restrictive areas, you'll see that number begin to get smaller again because it's evening out. So even though it looks like we're way ahead of our descent, it's going to even out. It's all going to come out the wash, as we say, but it's going to even out here in a matter of time as we hit the descent points. Man, where are we? Is that just like a almost runway? It's a grass field runway. Here's another one. Where's this? This is a nice airport. I don't know where am I? It's it's an Air Force base. This is really cool. I don't know where I am. I have no idea. I hear a plane. Where are you? I better get out of here. It's alright. Alright, we're at 280. I'm warming up to the labels again. I think I kind of like them. It's nice to know what each one is. I had them set to where you couldn't, there were no labels at all, but it's kind of nice to be able to look out there and see
the different traffic and what airline and the distance. Like that one's 52 nautical miles away. Yeah. We're only 58 minutes into flight, really, right as it stands now. Okay, let's walk through everything right now. So we're at number two for anti-skid for our braking. We'll be at flaps full for our arrival, and we're going to put our VREF settings in there now. So VREF will be at 40 at 143. And VREF is 40 at 143. Okay. And we're right on schedule for 240. If you notice here, we're at 250, 3.9 nautical miles. So I'll hit that just right. Heading buck. Okay, we've had a hard stop at 240, and we will be here for not long. We're already starting to descend again, aren't we? That was close. I have mid-air collisions. If TK if it works, they're actually set. They can actually happen. We'll see. No, I don't want to see. I don't want to see. I prefer not to.
Right, we're back to descent. We're in great shape, it looks like right now. Trying to. This is the part of the flight where I don't know how to make it interesting. It's just. We're going descending, descending, whatever. We're at 200, counting down. Everything's really going. VNAV's doing a great job, bang up job on this flight into Jacksonville. I'll say that. Very well done. All right, to review. Flaps should be at 0. Speed brake, it's armed. There's nothing to do with it, but it's armed. Frequency is set 110.70, 110.70. The runway heading is set to 077. And I'm being told to go back off of standard. So we're at 3014. I do like that feature. So like QNH. So when I set my QNH on my captain's setting, it sets it for the secondary here, and it sets it for this one. So I don't have to like manage 3 different altimeters. It's nice.
Allegiant 619, contact Jacksonville approach on 121.3.
Switching to Jacksonville approach on 121.3. Jacksonville approach, Allegiant 619, good afternoon. We're descending through 15,000.
Allegiant 619, Jacksonville approach, good afternoon. Jacksonville altimeter 30.07. Expect the ILS Yankee runway 8 approach into Jacksonville.
Expecting the ILS Yankee runway 8 approach. Allegiant 619.
We're set. We're set for it. We're good. I do admit, Zibo, the gauges and everything could be a little snappier, but I like the model. And Level Up, by the way, is a good model, but I think it's the graphics and the sharpness is better, but they haven't had an update in forever.
Descend and maintain 2900. Turn right, heading 230 vectors for the ILS runway 8 approach.
Descend and maintain 2900. Right heading 230 for vectors to the ILS runway 8 approach. Allegiant 619.
And he's taken us off of the Lenny where we would be, so, and landing lights are up. Yeah, so we're never going to make it to Gotby or Lunny, which are the two waypoints that are on the regular one. He's taken us to the right and taken us to what we call Libby, which is the waypoint for final. Okay, we've set our speed on 240 knots and 1,000 feet per minute descent. That is a grass runway. Wow. Beautiful though. Look at that. The water. But I digress. Anyway, right now we're going to Vector. We've been being sent by Vector at a course of 230. He's technically taken us to Libby, which is the waypoint for final. He's descending us down to about 2,900 feet, but I think at Libby we need to be at 2,000, and we will be capturing the ILS frequency at the antenna at that altitude. Have a nice steady descent. Nice. Technically we're only 15 nautical miles from the airport, but we're passing the airport to come in for transition. Right. Got some time on our hands. Should be able to see the airport from here. You see it? Should be.
Southwest 251, contact Jacksonville Tower on 118.3.
Over to Jacksonville Tower, 18.3. Southwest 251, see ya.
Smooth 84 Juliet, turn right heading 130.
I can't say that I see it. I can't yet. Oh, there it is. There's home. Okay.
Thousand to go.
Turning right heading 255, Allegiant 619.
Right, we're going to flaps 1. We're about to go to flaps 5.
Allegiant 619, turn right heading 270.
turning right heading 270, Allegiance 619.
Allegiance 619, 2 miles from Dines. Turn left heading 130. Descend and maintain 1900 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 8 approach.
Left heading 130. Descend and maintain 1900 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 8 approach. Allegiance 619.
Thousand to go.
What he said Dens. We're actually going to go by way of Libby.
$2,500.
Allegiance 619, contact Jacksonville Tower on 118.3.
Switching to Jacksonville Tower on 118.3. Allegiance 619. Jacksonville Tower, Allegiance 619. Afternoon, we're established on the ILS approach for runway 8.
Allegiance 619, Jacksonville Tower, roger.
Looking for winds or anything that would be interfering right now.
Jacksonville Tower, wind 360 at 4, runway 8, cleared to land, caution bird activity.
Runway 08, cleared to land, Allegiant 619.
I have some serious issues with wind. I don't know what it is.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Jackson.
I
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20.
All aircraft be advised, information Romeo is now current, altimeter 3013. Welcome to Jacksonville. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Switching to ground on 121.9. Jacksonville ground, Allegiant 619, afternoon. We are clear of runway 8 and ready to taxi to the gate.
I hit some crazy winds.
Jacksonville ground, taxi to gate via Golf Hotel. Have a good day.
Because my flare was having like issues. I was coming in on an auto land, and flare was just it was bugging out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jacksonville. This is Allegiant Air Flight 619 arriving.
I did not like that. Didn't feel good.
Just landed at Jacksonville International Airport. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until we have reached the final parking position. The local time here in Jacksonville is 12:39 p.m. Fun fact, Jacksonville is home to the largest urban park system in the US, with over 80,000 acres of parks. Thank you for flying with Allegiant Air, and we hope you enjoy your time in this beautiful city. We currently do not have any upcoming departures from Jacksonville, so please check your travel plans. On behalf of Captain Steve Good, First Officer Brian Song, and the entire crew, we wish you a pleasant day.
All right, once your I'm going to go up a little bit more. Alright, once you're there and your parking breaks down, I always go to ground service. Whoa. GPU, connect GPU, and set chocks. Alright. Now that that's done, you can go to your ground power and activate ground power. So now we're on ground power. We're not on APU power, and we can take our fuel down. Fuel switches are down. Let's look at that landing. Like I said, I think things were going fine for a while, and toward the end, it was really struggling. Auto land. Yeah. All right. We made it. By the way, the only thing I'll say about that, first of all, the captain of the plane is always completely and totally responsible for any of the wherewithal, what's going on with the plane. So, you know, regardless of what happened, it's my fault. But coming in, it did look like there was a wind issue, and because I started like drifting to the left, and I was going in on auto land. I was going in exactly. I think I was doing a 5 above the VREF, kind of doing everything by the book, but it was not cooperating. So anyway, that made for a little bit of a rough landing. I'm not sure the passengers actually knew that, because we never actually came off the runway. We just drifted a little bit to the right, and we'll see what our numbers are on the landing, but I think the landing was probably good. I hope I didn't mess up my PIREP. No, I didn't. So 216 feet per minute is acceptable.
Ground, citation 703 Delta Lima. Is that signature looking for IFR clearance to Atlanta?
I'm moving on that clearance. Stand by.
Cleared to Atlanta, Bristol 1 departure, then is filed. Maintain 4,000, expect flight level 410, 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is 121.3, squawk 4731, maybe, correction, citation 703 Delta Lima.
Can you find that outgoing flight? I can't see where it is.
703 Delta Lima is looking for IFR clearance to Atlanta.
All right. Anyway, I'm good with that. We're going to go ahead and cut that battery, and we're sending ourselves back to cold and dark. And I think that was still a good flight. I think it was a very smooth flight. Weather conditions kind of held up, so I think that was good. All right. I'll see y'all on the next one.